Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the match preview for Sheffield United versus Chelsea. First things first, guys, make sure you smash the likes, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and as always, please leave your thoughts in the comments below. And Sunday evening, 5:30 kickoff, Chelsea head up to Bramall Lane to take on basement boys Sheffield United, needing another 3 points to keep up the hunt for Europa League qualification. And a seemingly unlikely top six finish, which somehow, despite our best efforts, is still on the cards. Obviously, Thursday night was a crucial win against Man United. We needed those 3 points desperately, even more so given how we'd imploded against Burnley at last weekend. And in theory, you would think that Sheffield United would be a fairly straightforward game, but it won't be. At home, it's always a different proposition. Yes, we beat them 2-0 earlier on in the season, but at home, it'll be different, as I said. They've played better in their last few games. I think they got a draw against West Ham. They obviously drew 3-3 with Fulham in a game that they probably should have won. And even when they went to Anfield, they still gave a reasonably good account of themselves. So they are certainly playing better, despite the fact that they're going to go down. And there are goals in that team. And given how we're so defensively inept and seem to lack any sort of form of structure whatsoever, I'd be very surprised if we kept a clean sheet. And I would fully expect them to probably get a goal. Brett Brereton Diaz is coming in on loan in a January window from Villarreal. And, he's banged in a few goals. He's added a bit of quality for them. McBurney's just a nuisance, kind of one of them old-fashioned sort of brutish players. But he is a nuisance, and that partnership could certainly cause problems. Of course, Sheffield United have conceded so many goals. So, I would expect us to, with our attacking quality, obviously Cole Palmer, basically Cole Palmer FC these days, with the likes of Palmer, Jackson, whether it's Madueke or Mudryk or whoever it might be, I would expect us to have some joy against the Sheffield United defence. I mean, I'd be shocked if we didn't score. But then these are the sort of games this season where obviously you never know what you're going to get with Chelsea, but in the games you expect us to comfortably win and do well in are sort of the games that we've tripped up in. Burnley being a prime example last weekend. There's not an awful lot in it between Burnley and Sheffield United, but I just don't know what to expect. Yes, of course, that win against United should have given everyone a massive boost, and that lift and that momentum to finish off the season really strong. But whether that message gets through to the players, whether we've got it in us to go on a bit of a run and keep putting these points on the board, close the gap on the teams above us, keep the pressure on the teams above us. There's no point worrying about what other teams are doing. We just need to keep picking up 3 points, and then it will take care of itself, regardless of what anyone else does. So we've got to go into these games focused, respectfully as well. Sheffield United are a Premier League side. They deserve respect. I think we went into that Burnley game not really respecting the opposition. I think thinking it was going to be a straightforward afternoon for us. And look what happened to us. We've got to treat Sheffield United with the same respect. You can't be just up for games against Man United, up for games against the bigger sides, and then not be up for it in the other games. There's more games against your more run-of-the-mill sides than there are against your big sides. So if you're only going to turn up against the big teams, then you're going to have a massive problem for the majority of the season. And that's pretty much exactly what's happened to us. So, none of this being an exhibition team. You chase down those Sheffield United players like their Man United players, like their Man City players, or like their Liverpool players, or whatever. You chase them down. You give the same effort, the same commitment. Every single time you step on the pitch, you give 100% for your teammates, you give 100% for the badge, and you give 100% for the fans who are paying hard-earned money to be there. You don't just turn it on when you feel like it. But I really don't know what to expect. It feels weird sitting there doing this preview and thinking, this could be a game which, in theory, shouldn't be difficult, but I can see us making hard work of it. I can see there not being that many goals in it. And I think we are going to have to work hard for it. I think it's going to be frustrating. I think they are going to make it difficult for us. And we've just got to hope that, eventually, if we keep plugging away, our better quality will shine through and help us get the job done. But yeah, I just don't know. I just got a bit of a strange feeling about this. I'm not saying we're going to lose or anything, but I just think it's going to be a lot more difficult than perhaps a lot of people think. Obviously, in terms of team news, because we played Thursday night, there was no press conference for this game. I would imagine that nothing's changed in terms of personnel that are available. Whether Ben Chilwell's recovered from his illness and he might be back in the squad or not remains to be seen, but he certainly won't be starting. and obviously the rest of the players are presumably still missing as well. In terms of suspension news, Moises Caicedo and Nicholas Jackson are both one booking away from a 2-match ban. So if either of those players get booked against Sheffield United, they'll be ruled out for the Everton and the Arsenal games, which, given that we're coming into a crucial stage of the season, not many games left, we're kind of stretched squad-wise with personnel that are available. We could really do without having either of those guys suspended for 2 games at this crucial stage of the season. So hopefully they can, keep their discipline and not pick up a booking, because that would potentially have damaging consequences for us in the run-in. In terms of, Pochettino himself, you could see the relief, the emotion in him when that winner went in. That was massive. I said it in the match review at the time. That sort of felt like Pochettino's Dortmund moment, like it was with Graham Potter. Whether he can push on from here and continue to climb the table, get us in that top 6, maybe win the FA Cup if possible as well, then he'll obviously stay here next season. But this win against United means nothing if we can't follow it up with a win against Sheffield United. It's completely pointless. You have to back up your performances and go to Sheffield United and win. I don't care if it's convincing or not. Right now, it's about getting 3 points on the board. And, look, this group has obviously got never say die attitude. It's got belief. They believe in each other. And, one thing that has definitely improved is A, our attacking, and B, the fact that, this team doesn't get blown over by a gust of wind like last season's team did. We push right to the end. We keep going, and this team doesn't give up. They always dig in. And that's fair play to perhaps the manager, to perhaps the mentality of the players themselves, that we are still in a game. Even if we're losing and there's like 1 or 2 minutes left, you'd still think we can potentially pull something off. And that's a good attitude to have. But at the same time, scoring late winners and coming from behind, having to score 3 or 4 goals to win a game of football is not sustainable. I've banged on about this a number of times. The football we are playing is not sustainable. We have to become a more rounded team, a more structured team, a better team defensively, because we can't just keep having basketball games of football, because we're just not going to get the points we need, and our luck will run out at some point in terms of outscoring teams, in terms of scoring late on. You can't keep doing that. So we've got to find a more sustainable way of playing football. We need a defensive structure. We need a midfield structure. We need more of a team identity. And, whether we're going to see that over the last few games of the season, I don't really know. But it's clear and obvious what's missing. I still think there's some very basic coaching that is just not there with this team. And that reflects on the manager. But I think it's clear the way the players celebrated. They do enjoy playing with Pochettino. They do like the manager. And I think whether you like him or not as a fan, we should all want him to do well, because if he does well, it means Chelsea are doing well. And that should be the common goal that everyone wants, regardless of your thoughts on individual players, regardless of your thoughts on the manager. You should want these players to do well, because it means the club's doing well and it means the team's doing well. And that's, as fans, what we all want. In terms of Sheffield United, I think, they'll probably play a little bit more at home. I think they'll be physical. Brereton, Diaz and McBurney, as I mentioned, balls into the box, set pieces, that sort of thing. They are going to be a handful. And you know what we're like defensively, just in general, individual mistakes, lack of concentration, all things that have plagued us this season. But balls into the box and set pieces, every time a ball goes into the box, whether it's from dead ball or open play, we just look like conceding. We just look utterly shambolic. So I think Sheffield United will cause us problems, and certainly can cause us problems. And it's just going to be what our concentration's like on the day, what our focus is like, our mindset, our attitude, how we approach the game. I think we'll be able to tell within the first 5 or 10 minutes whether we're going to approach this game in the right way and whether we're going to win it or not. If we turn up, go through the motions, and we're not really up for it, and we just expect to win, then we can forget it. You can't do that as a professional footballer, as a professional team. And the manager's got to bang that message home. No easy games in the Premier League. Every opponent is treated with respect. You should be treating Sheffield United with the same respect as you're treating Man City or Man United or whatever it is, because there are no gimmies in the Premier League. There's no easy games. And if you're just a little bit off it, then you will be punished. And we can't afford to be punished. Somehow, we are still in the run to come sixth, despite our best efforts to throw it away. So we really need to have full focus, turn up with respect, put a professional performance in, and get back to London with the 3 points in the bag. And then we've got a whole week to prepare for Everton, who we don't play until the following Monday. But in terms of team selection, I personally we'll be making a couple of changes for this game. Obviously Petrovic is going to stay in goal. We know that. We also know that, well, I mean, I'd be picking him anyway, but we know that Gusto's going to play at right back. And Ben Chilwell, even if he's recovered from his illness, I'd be surprised if he went into the starting lineup. I'd expect him to be on the bench if he's in the squad at all. In terms of the centre-back pairing, we saw Disasi go off, got subbed off in the United game. I don't know if he had a knock or not. I haven't heard anything on that front. Maybe, I thought Badiashile was worse than him. Chalobah came on in his place. I don't really know what to do. Badiashile looks a shadow of himself. For me personally, I would probably stick with them because I think you need minutes, you need continuity, and it's difficult as a centre-back to get those consistent minutes you need to improve as a player and find your form again. So I would go Badiashile, but I could fully understand if people think he should be replaced by either Chalobah or Silva. And I wouldn't be against it, but I just think you need a bit of continuity, and I think he needs to be allowed to get his form back, get his match sharpness back, get his fitness back, etc. So I'll be sticking with the same back four again. I know it seems weird because we've conceded 2 goals in each of our last 5 games and then 3 in the game against United. So we've conceded 2 goals minimum in each of our last 6 games. And now I'm sticking with the same back four. I know that sounds a bit odd, but I just think you need that continuity there. And a lot of it's been poor individual mistakes and not marking properly from set pieces. In terms of the midfield, I would be making one change here. I'd be putting Moises Caicedo on the bench, not because I don't like him, not because I think he's shit. I just think he could do with being rotated out in this game. I didn't think he had a very good game against Man United. And as soon as Enzo dropped deeper when Caicedo went off, he played so much better. I'm not saying that this partnership can't work or it's not going to work, but you saw a different side to Enzo when Caicedo went off the pitch. So I'll be resting Caicedo for this game. Rest, drop, whatever you want to call it. I'll be going Enzo Fernandez, and then we'd obviously drop in Conor Gallagher alongside him. In terms of the forward positions, I mean, obviously Cole Palmer, he's carrying this team. Of course, he is going to play off that right-hand side. He's 3 goals behind Erling Haaland now in the race for the Golden Boot. Maybe he can get a few more in the back of the net and close that gap and perhaps try and put off a very unlikely Golden Boot. But I'm going Palmer on the right-hand side. And what, for me, Chukwuemeka having another good cameo off the bench against United, I'd be starting him in this game in that number 10 position. I just think the way that he picks up the pockets of space, how good he is on the half turn, the ability's there, the talent's there. His first thought is to always go forward. So, yeah, for me, Chukwuemeka in that 10 role deserves to start. Whether Pochettino thinks he's ready or has got the match fitness to do it, I don't know. But for me, Chukwuemeka needs to go in and start. And then I'd like to make a case for Madueke starting. But look, I didn't think Mudryk was great against City. But, I think he deserves to continue in the lineup. But Madueke is definitely banging at the door. He made a difference when he came on. He's very good in 1v1 situations. He's direct. And he made a difference. So you couldn't argue if Mudryk was rotated out of the side and Madueke played. But yeah, that's the 3 that I'd be going with behind the striker, who's obviously going to be Nicholas Jackson, who is a handful, runs channels, makes a nuisance of himself. And even if there's not much service, he still tries to make things happen and do things for the team. So that is the team that I would go for. Really, there's only one change. Well, yeah, one change from the team against United, with Caicedo dropping out and Chukwuemeka coming in. I wonder if Pochettino will make more changes, given it was such a short turnaround between Thursday and Sunday. I don't really know how much more scope there is to make too many changes. Madueke or Sterling, maybe. But other than that, there's not too many others. Maybe Chalobah. I think Thiago Silva, people say to come in. But I think it's clear that Pochettino, he's not really part of the plans right now. So I'd be surprised if that did happen. Maybe Gilchrist or something. I'm not too sure. But yeah, guys, that's the team that I would go with. In terms of a prediction, as I said, I think it'll be closer than people think. I'm going to go for a 3-1, Chelsea win. But I wouldn't be surprised if we went a goal down or Sheffield United got themselves on level terms. But I just think we're going to have too much quality for them, and I fancy us to get a few goals. So I'm going to go 3-1 Chelsea, but it is going to be hard work. Let me know your score predictions in the comments below, guys. Smash the like, subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll catch you again in another one soon. Up the Chelsea, and peace out, people.